And on behalf of the SIRC and ICAI, I extend a very warm welcome to Faheem Ahmed to come on dais, please. I request Deepak to come on dais, please. We have been conducting the continuing professional education programs, predominantly revolving around our core competencies. Certain times we discuss certain issues which are in thing, which are impacting the society and our professional life as such, apart from the core competencies. So we have identified this social media. Social media is an important influencer nowadays, because whether it is a child or a professional or an old human being, nobody is able to escape from the impact and the influence of this social media. So we thought it appropriate, perhaps a very little dose, very little dose of marketing aspects with this social media. I have requested our Faheem Ahmed sir also, because ours is a profession which is more on code of conduct and governing the advertisement of our achievements and the client interface through whatever type of advertisements we are making. So we have to be extremely cautious about utilizing this social media for the professional development. This is the background, and I am glad to request Faheem Ahmed ji to be amidst us. He is a founder and the CEO of BYT, an integrated digital agency. He and his team have helped build e-commerce stores, digital and social media campaigns that have brought in thousands of sales leads and growing social media communities. He has conducted workshops for retail brands and over 1,000 entrepreneurs till date, helping them and their companies with the digital and social media marketing. He has over 20 years of experience in IT services and IT products development in the field of e-commerce, web development and digital marketing. And he is a computer engineering graduate, MBA, and a certified project management professional. And he has done programs from Columbia University, New York, and among others. And on behalf of the CA Institute, I extend a very warm welcome, and I request you everyone to join your hands as a mark of respect to him. Joining with us for coordinating this program is our own member, Deepak ji. On behalf of the SIRC, I extend a very warm welcome to Deepak also. Deepak, would you like to give some overview about the program or end? Okay, now over to Faheem Ahmed.
Did anybody see that? Great. Looks like a big fan of Sunny Deol. You'll find out the reference once I'm in the deck. Now, hang on. So, my name is Faheem Ahmed. I'm going to be walking about. You can keep your eyes glued to the deck. So, about 10 years back, one of my clients wanted to get into social media. In fact, I wanted them to get into social media, and their response was, "Adalla venda, Facebook adalla venda, button serilla, zip serilla, indha mari prachana irukku, adalla complaint பண்ணுவாங்க. People will complain. We don't need social media." I'm sure most of you will be aware of this company. It's called Basics. The apparel brand Basics, you must have heard of it. They have about 120 stores across South India primarily. At one point in time, their advertising budget was about 5 crores a year. About 5 years back, they moved almost all of their budget into from what you call as print media, traditional medium, to social media, to digital. And today almost 95% of their budget is into social media. Now, only this year, after 4.5 years, they've started again to advertise on newspaper ads. So you might have seen some ads on the thing. So my company's name is BYP, and because of starting work for basics, we became one of the first companies in India to do social media marketing, much before any of the big companies like, let's say, Tata's, Airtel, any of the big brands of the country even started social media. Today, Basics is considered as one of the best run social media pages in India, and in terms of Instagram, they are the second most followed brand in the country in the menswear category. So we work with multiple brands in Chennai, in Tamil Nadu, in India and outside of India. I'll walk you through that. Now, when Deepak and his colleague suggested that I do social media marketing for chartered accountants, I said yes right away. And then a couple of days later, he sent me the guidelines for marketing for chartered accountants. I immediately wanted to call him back and say, can you cancel it? Right? So then, after a lot of research and all that, I came up with 3 slides, and those 3 slides are nothing, right? So as you know, it's very challenging to do social media marketing or any kind of marketing for chartered accountants. So what I did after that was I spent quite a bit of time to understand what other individuals as well as firms are doing on social media, and then I put together this deck. I'll start you off with some stats. So ideally, the format of this workshop, if you may call it, I would like to probably take about 30-45 minutes of your time, and then open the floor so that you can ask questions. The good thing about today is that since most of your, it's a limited number of audience, I might be able to answer questions individually and guide you in terms of your marketing requirements. So just to give you an idea, today there are about 1.3 billion people in India, right? And mobile subscriptions itself is about close to 1.2 billion already. So the penetration is pretty huge. And within that, there are about 560 million people who use the internet. Now, in social media, in internet usage, in digital marketing, we call it the pre-geo and post-geo phenomena. Because of geo, in the last 18 to 24 months, there has been a huge, like a hockey stick curve, inflection point in terms of internet usage in the country, right? And out of this, relevant to our discussion, is this thing which is 310 million people. Out of that, 31 crore people actually use social media extremely regularly, and that's like 23% of India. Now, this is the growth. I will skip this. So here is a very interesting thing. So out of the entire usage, 90% of the people are using their mobile phones, right? Today, most of us probably spend 85-90% of our own time on the mobile, and maybe 10-20% of thing. Now, those of you that are using Tally, and if you're spending, let's say, a lot of time on Tally or anything else, you would use a desktop. But that also is bound to change as things evolve and everything becomes mobile friendly. So that's about 90%, and within that, now in 90%, a good chunk of them are just feature phones. So a lot of rural areas and all that, not everybody has a smartphone, so they have what is called a feature phone, and then within that, there are about 40% of them use a thing. Now take a look at this. The desktop and laptop penetration of internet users is only 15%. So if you remember when mobile networks were introduced in India, India leapfrogged multiple different technologies, legacy technologies, let's say, which were there in Europe and US, and moved straight into the latest technology. Likewise, that is what is happening in India also, where a lot of people are skipping desktop and mobile and moving straight into let's say mini tablets, and of course mobile phones. And that's the clear phenomena that we are seeing here. Now, in terms of the amount of time, I mean, I don't think this would come as a surprise, but I was really surprised. This is based on a survey, so you'll have to take it with a pinch of salt. Just like our NSSO survey or whatever it is that is currently happening. So it's 7 hours and 50 minutes. Approximately 8 hours is the daily usage time of people, right? And within that, people are spending about 2.5 hours approximately on social media. And within this, they actually spend 2.5 hours just watching videos, right? So that's the amount of time people are spending. These are the top social media channels that people are currently using, right? YouTube, right? Then Facebook, WhatsApp, Insta, Facebook Messenger, then Twitter, LinkedIn. For our benefit today, I will be covering areas that might be relevant to your profession. So, this is kind of the breakdown in India, about 300 million on FB, 75 million on Instagram, and Twitter is about 7.6 million people. The interesting thing here is LinkedIn, which can be extremely useful for you. I'll explain how you can use LinkedIn for your own profession. And that's 54 million people today, much more than Twitter. Almost everybody talks about Twitter, but we don't talk so much about LinkedIn. But as you can see, that's the kind of penetration LinkedIn has gained in the short term. So this is the average demographic that we're looking at. We are looking at the yellow is women and the red is men. So if you look at 18 to 34, actually comprises almost 60%, about 55% plus number of people. But then you still have your demographic from 35 all the way to 65, which contributes to a chunk of the internet users. So, two things before we move into, I mean, this is not from digital marketing, but more in terms of marketing itself. If anybody has done a minor or a major in marketing, you might want to attempt answering that. Does anybody have an idea what demand generation is? Demand fulfillment? Okay. Let me give you an example. So, print is a demand generation platform. What it means is you're not opening the newspaper looking for ads, but there are ads there which are trying to create a demand, right? So that's called demand generation. Now, likewise, there is television. You open your television channel for news, serials, sports, whatever it is. You're not looking for ads, right? So there is a demand generation that is happening. These are good examples of demand generation. These have been largely the traditional platforms that people have used historically, right? Now here comes demand fulfillment. So you are creating the demand, and what are the platforms that are fulfilling that demand? Can anybody guess what could be demand fulfillment platforms? Sorry? Amazon, okay. A retail store. Actually, good answers. In terms of digital marketing, any other guesses? You're almost there. What else do you think? Which fulfills your demand? Which we use almost every day?
Just Dial.
Sorry?
Just Dial.
Great. So, do you use Just Dial every day? You don't. But you use something else every day. Google. Sorry?
Google.
So, Google is the other example. So, and I'll explain to you how. So, when you call Just Dial for a plumber, there's a very good, you will get like 4 or 5 numbers, right? And there's a very good chance that you will give your business to one of those 4 or 5 people. As soon as you get those numbers, people will call you even before you dial up, right? So you are created a demand for a plumber by calling Just Dial, right? Or you would just go and say mattresses in Chennai, or mattresses in Pycroft Road, for example, because that's a place which is quite popular. So if you see somebody advertising, what they are doing is they are fulfilling a demand which you have generated, right? So you need to kind of understand the fundamental of this to be able to go forward. So earlier, if you look at digital marketing, right? So when I say earlier, I'm just talking about just 9-10 years back. So before that, if you take away, let's say, social media, Facebook, you just had what is called a search engine optimization, email, search engine marketing, and maybe display advertising. And I'll explain to you each of those. Multiple. Today, this is how complicated it is. You remember the social media channels that we saw, those bar graphs, those line graphs? There are multiple platforms that are not even mentioned there that we will actually go through for your thing. So today, this is how complicated actually digital marketing is. And in a way, you're kind of lucky that you're not allowed to do a whole lot of marketing and you don't have to bother yourself with this. But at least there are a few platforms that you should take cognizance of, and which can be extremely beneficial for you for your profession. So here is the thing. Can you guess who India loves, right? And this is the reference to Sunny Leone. Can somebody guess, well, who's more popular in India? Sunny Leone or Katrina Kaif, or let's say Deepika Padukone? Any guesses? Who's more popular in India? Sorry, Sunny Leone. Somebody said Katrina Kaif. What about Deepika Padukone? Right? Either we are lying by saying Katrina Kaif, we don't want to say Sunny Leone, right? Or we are thinking, okay, maybe it's not Deepika Padukone. What we are doing is guesstimating, right? We are people of numbers here, right? But what we're doing is we are guessing, right? Now Google, the search that we talked about, which we use almost daily, I'm sure each one of us Googles 4 or 5 things almost on a daily basis, right? So Google gives a fantastic backend platform which is available for free. So today you can just use a Gmail ID. Let's say you have a website or something, just put your credit card information. You don't even have to spend any money, right? And you have access to a keyword tool. I will walk you through that. That kind of tells you what are people searching for, right? And that there are no guesses there. You'll get the actual data in terms of what people are looking for. So yeah, I heard your guesses, but here is the answer. In Chennai, every single month, are you able to see this? Should we switch off some lights? Visible. It's visible? Okay, great. So if you can see here, this is the search terms that I entered. The location is Chennai, which might not be visible here, but usually it will be the top left. So Sunny Leone, the average monthly searches is 16,500 people every month, right? Deepika Padukone, 40,500 searches per month, and Katrina Kaif, 14,800 searches per month. So here is another one, Sedupati or Surya. Sedupati, somebody said. Who do you? Sedupati? Okay. Here is the answer. Sedupati is about 12,000. I have the data for Karti. Karti is 9,000, about 10,000. Sedupati is 12,100. Dhanush is 27,100. So now what I did was I looked at people looking for chartered accountants. How is this relevant to us? Is we can go into this dashboard and see what are people searching for, right? Chartered accountants in Chennai, chartered accountants in Nungambakam, Mylapore, Tinagar, various searches. So if you plug in all this data, you will be able to get this kind of information. So let me just show you. In terms of accounting firms, chartered accounting firm, top accounting firms, so on and so forth, there are these various searches that you get. So for example, what we saw is one keyword. If we were actually to enter accounting firm and accountant, so on and so forth, the variations of those, you'll actually get about 100, 200 plus. And if you combine that, you'll get a fair idea as to how many thousand people are searching for accountants. So this is just accounting firm. So here's the beautiful thing. I don't have to be a chartered accountant, but very, very quickly using this tool, I will be able to also find out much of the jargon that you would use, right? For example, these were my keywords that I used here, chartered accountants in Chennai, so on and so forth. I will share this deck later, you'll be able to see it better. And what Google did is it gave me hundreds of keywords. Approximately it gave me about 49 groups, and out of that 49 groups, ad groups, probably about 500, 700 keywords. So once you give them the root keywords, it comes back with a whole bunch of other related keywords. And how is this relevant? I'll explain to you. So these are the keywords, right? And yeah, this is auditors in Chennai. 590 people looking for auditors in Chennai every single month. Chartered accountant in Chennai, 390, about 400 people. CA coaching classes, 140. How to become a CA, 140. Company formation, so on and so forth. Multiple others. Tax consultant in Chennai, 400. ISO, not related to you. Income tax consultant, right? About 70 people, so on and so forth. So now, let's talk about what is search engine optimization. Now, when you search, there are two things that happen. You will see some ads, and you will see a listing like this. Right? So if you see the organic listing, so what Just Dial and Suleka and Urban Clap have done is, they have optimized their portal to rank for this. So what I did was chartered accountant in Chennai, Nungambakam, right? And rightfully so, these people have ranked it because they will have multiple listings, hundreds of listings of various chartered accountants. Now, before I go further, let me ask you a question. How many of you are listed on Just Dial? How many of you here are listed on Just Dial? Okay. Is there a reason why you are not can somebody throw some light?
They may not be listed as a chartered domain, but as accounting firm, few people are listed.
Okay. Anybody here from accounting firm?
Accounting sales or tax domain, we are listed.
Fair enough. So this is the top half of the listing page. There are about 10 listings that happen. Here, if you see the after Urban Pro and all of that, you have Joseph and Rajaram. Have you heard of this company? Is it a well-known popular thing? So I will show. Sorry. Okay. So I will show you what their website is, right? And then you'll get some ideas around this. So that is the search engine optimization. There are things that you need to do based on the data that you looked at in terms of keywords, and you will do certain things here, which I'll explain now. Right. So before we go into this, these are the things that you're allowed to and not allowed to, right? So it says so you can run an ad, which is advertisement for recruiting staff, or you can run an ad which is on behalf of your clients, right? And it also says advertisement for the sale of a business or property. Only then you can advertise. But so you are recording this video, you might want to edit it because I have some data to show you. So this is Joseph and Rajaram. Almost all the things that they've done on the website is compliant to based on the ICA rules and regulations. They've gone by that. So what they have done here is search engine optimization. They have gone into the search engine, so they must have used an agency like us, or they would have learned it and tried to do it themselves. So what they would have done is, they would have put keywords like taxation, all these things, and they have said consultants. So you see, CA firm, auditors, consultants, Chennai, Madras. So the way people will search, they have done this. So now this you cannot say is promotion, right? So all you have done is you've done some things on the website, and your content is completely adhering to what you're not saying here. Better than the others, best CA firm, top CA firm. You're not saying any of those. So if you use anything which says I'm better than another CA, it's not allowed. So that's something else also you must be aware of. So it's a completely legitimate website. Let me show you another one. So when I did Chartered Accountant in Chennai, T Nagar, I saw welcome to, this is B. Tyagarajan Company. Let me show you their website. Again, completely adheres, perfectly fine. They are coming in the organic listing. So let me go back to that same page. Here, if you see, can you see this green square button here? Like a square label? That's an ad. So what Shripad Kulkarni is doing is they are running an ad. So now, if you look at their ad, it is absolutely legitimate. They are not saying they are leading law, accounting firm, none of that. All they are saying is input tax credit, appeals and revision. So it's very, very thing. But what I am not aware of from what I read of your promotions and advertisement access, whether they can advertise on Google or not. Would you be aware? Anybody here aware whether you can run ads on Google or not? Have you seen anybody else run ads on Google? The act, the rules and regulations are so fuzzy, right? What happens is a lot of people have not done that, right? And one of the things that I saw when I was talking to Sir just now, he was saying that many people don't even have their own website. How many of you are eligible to have websites here?
All are eligible.
All are eligible. Okay. How many of you have a website? One. Just one out of the 15, 17 people here. So, the rest of you who don't have a website, why don't you have a website? Ma'am, why don't you have a website? Sir? Yes, sorry. Why don't you have a website?
I joined a firm 30 years old.
Okay.
And they are not, the senior person are not allowing, they feel it's getting into a little bit of advertising. So a little bit of change in the thinking.
Got it. So they are traditional, so on and so forth. They think it's advertising and promotion, so they are not doing it. What about you, sir? Why don't you have a website?
I had a website earlier.
Okay.
We have discontinued the services in recent years.
And why is that?
We are not getting the responses which we expected. We are not getting that.
Okay. Maybe you were not aware of all these things. I mean, at the end of the session, you'll probably get better ideas. But was there any other reason? I mean, was it like an ethical reason or you? So what I have felt, with my interaction is more people are afraid of putting up a website than actually going ahead and putting up a website. So you had a point. Did you want to say something? Yes, sir.
That is the right word. Afraid.
More people are afraid, right? Yeah, that's so. What is happening is they might not have invested a whole lot, Joseph and Rajaram, but right away they are ranking there. So my thing to use, you can adhere to all the rules and regulations of ICAI, still have a website and still benefit from it by doing some of the basic things that are required, right?
There's a slight confusion between whether to have a website in ICA domain or to have a separate.
I would recommend having it as a separate domain, your own domain, right? CA Deepak, CA Ashok, or whatever it is, as a separate domain, because you can control a lot of things on your own website. For example, you want to change the content very quickly. There is something called as title tags, so on and so forth, for search engine optimization that you can do, which is legitimate. ICA doesn't discourage you from doing those things. It's only, I feel, our fear that we might trample upon some rules which is stopping us.
What is the reason for afraid?
The strictures from ICA, right? They might just send you a notice saying that you're advertising, you're promoting yourself. But you're not. If you adhere, say, for example, Joseph and Rajaram, I don't see them flouting any rules. Right? But they are doing certain things so that they are in the first page of Google. And I don't think you can call that as promotion or marketing or any of that. Right? So you have to build a website and do things so that you rank in page 1, so that you get traffic. When you get traffic to your website, what is going to happen is people are going to inquire, and that leads to business.
This also is required for employment, because these days people ask to know about the firm, they ask about the website. Because I can know much more about when the firm got started, partners and associates and other things. It's almost.
Absolutely. So if you're a firm, or think of it as your resume online, right? Without complicating it too much. We are here exchanging cards, but how many people even hold on to the cards? all I have to do is type CA Ramesh, or I remember he said T Nagar, let me go CA Ramesh T Nagar. And if he has a website, it will show up and all the information is right there to see. So it is as simple as that. Yeah.
I think many of the people will have a domain, but they don't have a website.
Correct.
They may have a email ID with a domain, but may not have a built a website.
Got it. And I guess the reason is like we discussed. So this is one. Now here is absolute flouting. This is the time that you want to edit this video. This is absolutely flouting of the rules. So there is a company called Savage Farmer. So I don't know if they have their overseas firm which is operating in India and they can advertise. I don't know about that. But they are saying consult best CA firm in Mumbai, which goes against the rules of ICAI. You cannot say top firm or one of the best firms or any of those things. Now, this is again in Mumbai. I see more rules being flouted in Mumbai. So I see one more here, outsource GST compliance. Does that come under ICAI?
No, this is a
different thing?
Not a CFO.
This is not a CFO. Okay, but it says CA assisted GST compliance. Then it is wrong, right?
That's a look. Most of the portals, which are example Clear Tax or something else, they engage CS for in case of consultancy.
Okay.
But that's a independent entity, and these people just help on case of demand.
Fair enough. So I see 3 ads here. Another one is for a CPE exam, and then another person is advertising for accounting services. So that also is legitimate, right? Accounting services, right? And this is Shripad Kulkarni, the person who's advertising on AdWords, and I'm not sure whether you can advertise or not. However, they are advertising. But if you look at their website, it's fairly legitimate, right? So they just have a lot of information about these things. So, but here is so they have things like pan search, tan search, so on and so forth. Now, in terms of what is allowed, if you look at the ICAI guidelines, it's very clear what is allowed, right? So this might be a little bit more information, but they might just be able to get away with a rap on their knuckles kind of a thing, right? So it's barely a flouting of rules. Google My Business. So we understood what search engine optimization is. Based on what people are looking for, you optimize your website so that you rank like Joseph and Rajaram, for example. This is called Google My Business. Google My Business is nothing but what is called as a 3-pack. So whenever you search something local, so when you do a local search, you get these 3 listings, right? And if you want to click more, you have something called as more places. It's very important for a local business to rank here. So you have to sign up on something called as Google My Business. And when you sign up on that, connect it to your website, you don't even need to have a website to be on Google My Business, right? So even if you rank here with a bunch of different techniques, you will be able to get inquiries by just doing this. This is called Google My Business. Talking about targets in social media. So I wanted to do a holistic program, not just restrict to social media.
The previous one, Google My Business, whether we can do it.
So if you look at R, Bhupati and Co, all these people, right? They have listed themselves. Google My Business is nothing but a feature within Google Maps. So when people are searching for auditors or whatever it is in Google Maps, these will show up as well as on Google search, right? So it is nothing but a listing services. Here, what you can provide is your name, address, and office hours, and the list of services that you provide, just like your website. So the guidelines allow you to give address, location, name, so on and so forth. That's what you're listing here. So you're not flouting the rules here. You're not advertising, and neither is this an advertisement.
Now other companies may be also on the list. How this 3 company or 5 companies are coming on?
Correct. Like,
How to do it?
so this is called a search engine optimization. There are a bunch of different techniques. So Google has at least 200 ranking signals, different things that you can do to tell Google that this website, which is calling itself CA Ramesh and wants to rank for the word auditors in Nungambakam. If if this website wants to tell Google that it is valuable, it will have to do a bunch of different activities which are called the ranking signals. There are about 200 ranking signals. Ideally, if you do about 20, 30 different things, you will be able to rank, right? And let me give you an example, because that's a fairly big topic called search engine optimization, but let me give you an example. So let's say you type, let's say somebody is writing about blogs, right? And the word that they are talking about is, let's say, accounting, for example. If you just put the word accounting, if you look for any definition online, one of the first websites that will come up on search would be Wikipedia, right? Because Wikipedia is a knowledge body kind of a website. So now what happens is, let's say there is somebody, maybe I'll give you a better example, let's say pharmacology. So let's say there are pharmacists in different parts of the world, they are writing about something related to pharmacology, right? What they will say in their blog is, they might be talking about very different activities, and they might be referencing pharmacology. What they will do there is, for more information on pharmacology, go to www.wikipedia.org/pharmacology. Now, in their blog, they are giving a link to Wikipedia. Now, just imagine hundreds and thousands of such links going to Wikipedia. This is called as a backlink from me to you, that is Wikipedia. That tells Google these 1,000 people who have written various blogs and websites and all that are referencing back to Wikipedia. That means Wikipedia must be an authoritative website. Because it is an authoritative website, whenever somebody searches pharmacology, let me rank Wikipedia up. Right? So that's called a backlink. So this is one of the ranking signals. Likewise, there are a number of ranking signals that you will do to ensure that you are in page 1. For example, if somebody searches for an auditor or an accountant in that particular location. So,
in order to make it a ranking, there are somebody who they will be putting a bogus people to search, do this type of search, so that their company may be coming on the top also.
No, you don't have to.
I'm talking about anything.
So there are people who do what is called as black hat methods and white hat methods. Today, doing any kind of black hat method, Google's algorithm is extremely smart, and they find out very, very quickly. And whatever gains you've made by coming into page 1, there's a good chance you'll go into page number 20, and they say the best place to hide a dead body, is in page number 2 of Google, because nobody here goes to page number 2. All our searches, whatever we see, will be in page number 1. If you don't find something in page number 1, what you will do is, you will change the way you're searching, right? So the bogus, there are companies who still attempt to do that, but there are enough and more white hat methods, legitimate methods to rank yourself on that. But definitely the ones, so let's say you might be a bigger law firm, right? And you might be a smaller accounting firm. But you might be very savvy when it comes to search engine optimization, and you can rank yourself higher than him, right? But that's the name of the game. Who understands digital marketing? Who understands SEO and all of these things to show better? Now, is that unethical? I don't think so.
Bigger law firm win.
Sorry?
Bigger law firm win. Number of cases handling or the volume of turnover.
Number of people.
Correct. So there is no award, no sir. So here the question is about, can a smaller law firm with accounting firm with 5 accountants versus accounting firm with 100 people, who should be on top of Google? Google does not think like that. Google thinks about what are the ranking signals? What are people talking about? Are there forums where people are talking about this small accounting firm versus nobody talking about a thing? So those ranking signals are fairly democratic, and that's the advantage. You can be a small accounting firm but still rank above others, right? So just to give you an idea, I mean, these are the ways that you can target on Facebook. You must have heard about data privacy breaches and all kinds of things, but behind all of this, the amount of data Facebook has on all of us is just staggering. So let me give you an example. Um, we can, if I am selling iPhone 10 cases, let's say I have launched a beautiful iPhone 10 case. What I can do now is I can go into Facebook and I can target people who are using only an iPhone 10. There are, let's say, about 85-90 lakh people who use Facebook in Chennai. Out of that, now I can target 5,000, 10,000 people who have an iPhone 10. Now, imagine if I was an iPhone case dealer or supplier, whatever it is. There is no way, there is no other medium that I can use only to target iPhone 10 people. I can't use Just Dial, radio, TV, print, none of this. I can maybe spend 100 rupees a day just to show ads to people who have an iPhone 10. Likewise, there are hundreds and different targets. So for example, we help a lot of real estate companies. So there's a project in Adyar. The cost of the department is from 5 crores all the way till about 9 crores. So the target that we have identified is, one of the targets is people above the age of 35 who have studied in the top 10 MBAs in the world. So what we did is we are targeting people who have studied in Stanford, Harvard, UCLA, Yale, you name the top 10 MBAs of the world, we are targeting those people. So the possibilities are immense. Now, give me 2 or 3 examples and I'll tell you what kind of targets are available, just so you understand the power of this medium. Can somebody give me an example of a business and I'll tell you? Give me an example, please. It need not be, chartered accountants, but anything else.
I want one of my cousin to join a firm for articles.
See, he might not be a user of.
So he is looking for the popular water researching top 10 CA firms in Chennai or whatever.
No, I would say an example outside of the CA, simply because you cannot target, right? On Facebook, you cannot advertise. So yes, sir. You can give an example of some business. Selling of? Okay, can you be a little bit more? TV fridges? Okay, let me give you an example. Vivek's is our client. So actually a good example. Vivek's is our client. We want these 2 months ACs and fridges are the top sellers, right? So what we're doing for them is, they have a database of their customers who have bought ACs in the last, let's say 5 years. So what we have done is, we have asked them questions like, how regularly people change ACs. So they said 2 to 3 years, ideally we can target. So what we've done is, we have now targeted people who've bought ACs 2 years and before. So the way it works is, we have to take the mobile phone numbers and email IDs and upload it to Facebook. It's called as hashtagging. So the data is completely secure. It's uploaded. Once you upload, you also cannot download it. So it's uploaded and it's hashtagged. So basically what Facebook does is, it compares your phone number with the phone number that you've used on Facebook, right? Vivek's database with Facebook database, and it will put it in a bucket. So now I can just target people, hey, time for a change for your AC? Is it time to change your fridge? So as you can imagine, this is a demand generation platform. You didn't go to Facebook for looking for ads, but now if Vivek's is targeting, and if you were their customer 3 years back, and if you give them an offer saying, hey, offer for existing customers, 1,000 rupees off, 2,000 rupees off, valid only till this weekend. Right? So that's one example. Anybody else? Another example?
Exchange of AC.
Yes. Exchange of AC or sale of new AC with a buyback. Any other example of any industry?
Car services, they make after the previous data, you add those persons who are service.
Correct. So for example, let's say Gurudev Motors. They have database of all the people who have bought from them. They know all the people whose cars are 3 years and older. Correct? Who are out of warranty. So they can be running ads only to them. They might be about 1,000, 2,000 people. Just imagine the cost of reaching those people. It will be very, very inexpensive. So yes, that also can be done.
Not only for buying or service.
I'm talking only about servicing, because that's why I said 3 years warranty.
Regular service.
After 3 years warranty, Usually warranty is free for first.
They have the service or not?
Sorry?
Every month the car has to be serviced.
Car is serviced approximately every 6 months or 5,000, 10,000 kilometers. Usually in the warranty, first 3 years is free.
That is that.
So they can target people earlier than 3 years who have older cars because those are paying customers. Otherwise everything becomes free. They don't make money out of that, right? So they can target like that. So YouTube, I just looked at what people are.
Before you go, you said about the property and other thing, and you can take that filter those customers who are able to buy or
Who have the buying propensity, yeah.
buying capacity. How do you use it?
So see, now as marketers, what we're doing is we're making certain assumptions, but very calculated assumptions. So what we are assuming is anybody, there are probably 1,000 people in Chennai who can, maybe 5,000 people who can afford an apartment worth 5 crores to 10 crores, right? And then we are kind of guessing who could these people be. There's a good chance they have the best of the iPhone or the best of the Android phones. They could be driving the best of the cars. They could already be living in the best of the locations, right? And then we are thinking, what is their education qualification? There's a good chance they might be CEOs, founders of companies. They could be, they could have studied in IIMs, IITs, and the top MBA schools.
Whatever you are saying is correct. Like you will not be getting diverse information, certain information. They are studying in a good university or overseas and other things.
So one of the things, I mean, if you remember my profile also, there was a lot of bragging happening in my profile, right? That I did a small program in Columbia University, so on and so forth. Now, people, their achievements, they will usually put it up on social media. So if you take a look at, just to do a Facebook search of Harvard Business School, you'll find out. You'll be able to at least get a good number of people who have studied in Harvard who are living in Chennai, right? So, and more powerful than this medium is LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is all about that. I'll come to LinkedIn in just a little bit about that.
Then after that you have filtered and you got it.
Yes.
Then approaching them, they may be thinking in a different way. They will not consult. So they
Correct.
You can't do the marketing. They can't. It will not be a success marketing also.
So, the biggest challenge here is, one of the biggest challenges to identify those people who you think can afford, and after that the right messaging. So now, for example, you are showing an ad, 5 crore apartment was 5 crores, today it is 3.9 crores for the next 30 days. That might interest them. Or we are giving interiors. So after that it's a marketing offer. And at the end of the day, people have to like the offer. All you have done smartly is identify the target audience. At the end of the day, it is the offer, no, sir. They have to like the place, they have to like the builder, they have to like whether the project is completed or not, whether the rate is fine. So all of these things, only then they will be able to sell it, of course. So one of the things is target, so this kind of targeting, you'll be able to target 2,000 rupees a day. You can be targeting these kind of people. How many people in this audience have access to 1,000 people whose net worth is hundreds of crores, right? Through this, you will be able to communicate indirectly.
So idea is trying to optimize the cost. Otherwise, he'll put a paper ad which will cost him more. So he's
Sure.
trying to do optimal.
So on YouTube, what I noticed was, again, so the second most searched, the second most popular search engine in the world actually is YouTube. After Google, people use YouTube to search. So what I did was chartered accountant in Chennai. Somebody has ranked their video also. Chartered accountant in Chennai, Srinivas and Gopal, with the phone number and the video. Right? So there are multiple ways where you can be present without flouting rules. So this is YouTube. How much more time do I have? Accordingly, I will time this. Right? So here is somebody. So this person, Mitesh Nadkarni, it could be one of you. So here the talk is about career in chartered accountancy, how to set up private practice and challenges. So it's a talk show. You could be part of this talk show, right? If not, forget about, this lady, Chat, she might not want you on her show, right? But whereas what you can do is, you can create your own channel, you can ask my colleague here to interview you, right? and then you can rank that video also to show. So the things that you need to also do as a thought leader. The reason why I've been brought here is because I interacted with Deepak, so he thought my understanding of digital is so and so. Then he must have also looked up my profile, and then he would have called me to find out, sir, can you speak? I know one-on-one you are all right, but can you speak? So if he knows that, I'm an authority on my subject, the chances of him giving me business is extremely high. And this is what you could be doing to be a thought leader, to be an authoritative figure in your industry.
What is the advantage in YouTube?
So the advantage is people are searching on YouTube also. Like they search on Google, they are searching on YouTube also. So for example, let's say somebody is searching for, what do you say, accounting principles or some formula that he wants to learn. Almost everybody goes there to learn something or the other, right? So when they are looking for something related to taxation laws, for example, and they've come up with they see a video, they will see something called as a related video. And that related video could be your video which says tax consultant in Chennai, right? So they might click on that. Because it is all related to taxation, they might get in touch with you. Oh, looks like he's an authority in Chennai on taxation. The main video they might have been seeing could be the taxation consultant in Delhi. But ideally they would want to interact with somebody in Chennai, right? So they see a related video. So I'll show you, can you see here? These are related videos. This is based on what I have browsed. Here, it's a video which says, why to become CA. This could be you, tax consultant or something in Chennai. So we talked about Facebook. Just to give you, yeah. Can you speak up a little bit, please?
Regarding that YouTube, it's also generates income, right?
Yes, it does.
That doesn't mean like if I'm just showing a firm name or something, you should not, how the income will be. Suppose like more than 200 subscribers and it has some views, it will generate income, if I'm correct.
Correct.
So then it will be like, if I cannot show my firm name also, wherever even the video is shown, it's just like CA, some name.
Sure.
And he is not supposed to say about his firm name.
Okay.
Okay, that is the thing. So if I am just putting as an individual,
Okay.
so if I am just putting an individual, there I should not mention my firm name.
Okay.
So that will be like, I stand to differ. This is impression only that you are not trying to promote the firm. You are just saying so and so, partner of so and so. I should not say that partner and I think you can, it's a profile, this is a profile, right? You don't boost your firm that the firm is doing so and so, so and so, so. If I am getting like, if I am doing these videos, these you have put the file and everything and it's going more than 200 subscribers and it's not to earn income, which can I am able to accommodate in my firm because
Sure.
I should not promote that.
If I remember right, you have the option of not taking the income from YouTube. It's not a must. So if you feel this promotion on video is helping you get business, which will be much more than actually the YouTube income, you can ignore that.
So his question is not on the income side.
No, his question is also income side because if he gains income, it might flout the ICA rules. Is that correct? Yeah.
No, because I find many people in Western, the Mumbai side, who earn income. Okay, the reason is they are all online tutors. I mean, they teach online GST for the students and they are earning income.
But that doesn't come in the course, it comes as a...
No, he just says I don't have a COP and he just continues. He says I don't have a COP, I'm just promoting my education on GST subject and people are enrolling for it.
So if I'm asking like I don't want the YouTube channel in my firm name, so I'm having some consulting company or something, where I can able to upload at least a video.
Yes,
I can able to
yes.
generate revenues also. But I will be there and just representing myself as an individual CA.
Correct.
Just attend that positive.
Absolutely.
How does the YouTube tax income?
So,
How does the YouTube?
sorry?
How does the YouTube tax income?
Good question, sir. Here, I don't see an ad here.
It's an in-between ad.
So in between you see ads, right?
When you start the video, you will get an ad. After 20 minutes, you will find another ad.
So let's say in between watching this video, you might see an IPL ad, right? So IPL might will be giving money to, let's say, I will say I'll give you $1 to YouTube. What YouTube will do is, YouTube will keep 80 cents, for example, 80 paise, let's say 1 rupee they give you, 80 paise they'll keep to themselves, and they'll give 20%, I mean, I don't know the exact numbers, it can be 10, 20, 30%, to this channel owner, Chet Chat. Chet Chat is the channel name, right? So they also make an income. So they basically, it's like a revenue sharing. You got it? It is through advertising. Think of YouTube as a Hindu newspaper, sir. Hindus for news, and they are selling space. YouTube is a content place, like a newspaper, it's videos. In between the videos, they are giving place for people to sell ads, sell their services or products. It could be real estate, it could be cricket, or anything else.
So, can you spend some more time how we can take use of some more examples where members can make use of YouTube?
Sure. Let me. Yeah, sure. Let me go through this. So, chartered accountant. So, increasingly, what's happening is people are searching in Facebook also, right? So, these are people who are kind of connected to me, at least 1 degree away. They might not be my friends, but friends. So, when you write your profile, like in your website, you can be doing that on Facebook also. How many of you have a Facebook profile? Almost everybody, right? How many of you have mentioned chartered accountant? Great, fantastic, great. So when you do that, you also show up there. And there are a lot of groups on Facebook. I recommend that you participate in all these groups. There is a group I found out today, Chartered Accountants Group in India, 32,000 people. Then there is a ICAI, it's called ICAI Weapons. I didn't understand what that means. 10,000 people, all chartered accountants. 11,000, 2,000, 6,500, right? So there are a lot of groups. So it's a great way for you to also network with one another, right? So somebody could be there in Delhi and say, hey, I have a requirement for my client in Chennai. No, get in touch. How many of you have heard of this website called Quora? You've heard? A few of you have heard. Quora is a place where you can ask questions and you can get answers, right? So here I see a lot of people asking questions, right? Anybody who answers your questions is considered satisfactorily, of course, is considered as an authority, right? Now I'm sure you take me as an authority. There's a very good chance if you're thinking about digital marketing for yourself or your firm, they'll say, okay, let me take Faheem's advice because he seems to be an authority. So Quora is a website where people ask questions, all kinds of questions, right? It's a fantastic place. If you are much into reading, it's as addictive as, let's say, YouTube. So there are a lot of people who ask questions related to chartered accountants and articleship, how to do a program, course, so on and so forth. So what you can do is you can go register yourself as on Quora and answer as an authority, right? And because of which what will happen is, hey, so you can say I'm a chartered accountant practicing in Chennai, and this is what I think is the solution, so on and so forth, and leave it there. You don't have to promote yourself, right? So what happens is, this website is extremely popular. So when somebody is searching for something like that, this will rank on Google, and people will be able to come and see your answer also. So you can identify about 100 things that you can answer and go and answer here. So this is Quora. LinkedIn, which I think could be one of the most important things for all of you, is how many of you are familiar with Talha Rahman? He's an auditor. I know him, and he's connected to me on LinkedIn, so I did a thing. Now, if you look at this gentleman, how many of you know Venkatakrishnan Subramanian? Anybody heard of that name in Chennai? CA. The reason why I mentioned him is he and I are not connected on LinkedIn, but we have 42 common friends. I have about 10,000 connections on LinkedIn from different parts of the world, including Chennai. 42 common connections, which means he also has a lot of friends. He's got hundreds and hundreds of friends. What does it mean? He's using LinkedIn to network, right? So this is my profile. So I've mentioned myself as a digital agency owner, driving business for startups to large companies, speaker, mentor, so on and so forth. And here I've mentioned my experience. you should be doing that. I also have recommendations. So here's a great example. You will have about 10 clients, right? You can ask them for recommendations. I don't think this flouts rules. Or does it? Asking for a recommendation.
On domain knowledge they can speak.
Only on domain knowledge.
They can give an example.
Okay, so for example, let's say you're my auditor. Can I come and say he does a great job specific to GST and taxation?
You can say on advisory how I advise you and how I build on your internal control.
Exactly. So you can take recommendations at the same time telling them not to recommend over the top. So all these recommendations will show up on your own profile. So this is Talha Rahman's recommendations. He has given recommendation. This is not his recommendations that he has received, what he has given. So this gentleman has like now hundreds of connections. I want to show his profile, a professional picture, so on and so forth. Now, who has viewed you? The reason, what I would recommend for you all is get a professional portrait picture done, right? In a jacket, suit, or just nice clothes, and put up your entire profile, including address, website if you have. And one of the things that happens is LinkedIn gives you an option of who has viewed your profile, right? So let's say if I go and browse 100 people's profile today, 100 people will know that I have browsed. Out of that, at least 20-25% people will go to this section and will see that I have come. And they will want to connect with me if they like my profile. So what you could do is, once you create your profile, you can go and send connection requests. How can you send connection requests? Who would be your target? Ideally business owners. There will be thousands of business owners in Chennai, and you can connect with them. I would say this is probably the quickest way of using. If there's one thing that I would recommend, it would be website, search engine optimization, Google My Business, and I would recommend LinkedIn. Not easy to do. Right? And here is one more thing. So LinkedIn has something called as LinkedIn publishing. Right? Now, as part of publishing, you can write articles. You are allowed to write articles, right? So as a thought leader, you should be writing articles, and as part of this, you should also be writing a blog on your own website, right? So I just created an articleship in a CA firm in Chennai, what to expect. You can write about this. So you remember chartered accountant, when I search on LinkedIn, there are hundreds and thousands of chartered accountants, but only some showed up. The reason is because of my connection with Talha Rahman and the second degree connection, which is that other gentleman. But now what happens is, if you are frequently posting on LinkedIn, there's a good chance LinkedIn will try to connect you to me, because you're putting content regularly. Because you're writing blogs regularly on your website as a thought leader, Google knows, oh, this website has fresh content regularly, compared to Joseph and Rajaram, who updated their website 5 years back. Whereas you updated your website 5 days ago, right? So that's why you should write. And I would definitely recommend directories and portals, Just Dial, Suleka. I see Urban Clap. I would definitely recommend these websites. There are about 3 of them, Just Dial, Suleka, Urban Clap. And this is how the listing shows up on Just Dial. Urban Clap. Urban Clap is much more direct. So they're a portal. If I'm a business owner, I can come and tell what is the specific requirement I have, and Urban Clap will connect me to the right taxation consultant, GST or so on. How many of you are registered on Just Dial? Just Dial you already said. Anybody registered on Urban Clap? Oh, definitely you should consider doing that. So yeah, with this, the summary for this seminar is keyword research. Please do that. Then a website which is also mobile friendly, right? Mobile friendly website. Search engine optimization and Google My Business. Register yourself for Google My Business. Right? And then Google AdWords. Now this is a topic that I will investigate a little bit more before I invest into that, because I see some firms do it, some not doing it, so on and so forth. So I will be careful doing this. I will investigate this a little bit more before I do this. Improve your presence on LinkedIn for sure. And like I said, write on LinkedIn, write on your blogs, create a video. It could just be your daughter or son who's got a tripod taking a video. She can be asking 5 questions. You can give her the 5 questions and you can answer those questions, right? So you can put up a video. You don't need a computer editing. Today, everything is available on your mobile phone to do this. So I would do that. And lastly, I would recommend any online platforms and directories that you can use. So this is it. I'm done. I'm happy to take more questions. Any questions? Yes, 7:15. So another 10-15 minutes.
See advertisement, is it printed in USA and other countries also?
I would think yes, sir. I mean, in the US, you can see billboards of injury lawyers with a finger pointing to you saying, do you have a personal injury? No? So they have billboards, huge billboards, law firms. So yeah, accounting firms, all of them. I think we follow the British law. Maybe in UK also they don't allow advertising. I'm not sure about that.
There's a review going on advertisement also.
Mm-hmm.
Might be next year going on.
Is it? Oh, that'll be great.
Some relaxation, what I know.
Yeah, they should definitely relax. I mean, every year sir was telling that 6-7% new people are coming, right? Professionals are getting added to the pool. There are only a limited number of businesses and so on and so forth. So promotion should be available. I feel just like any company. Yes, sir.
Where do you draw a line between telling that this is what I do as a business, like a visiting card online, and advertising?
And I don't think there is any ambiguity as far as that is concerned. The guidelines are very clear. They say you can put your name, number of employees, services that you offer, address, so on and so forth. I would just leave it at that. But what you do at the back end, ICA doesn't care, right? Search engine optimization, Google My Business, LinkedIn, all the other things that we discussed today are the things that you should be doing which are legitimate, right? So that would be the answer.
Website, wrong information is given. How the other side will come to know?
Yeah, I mean, if like a regular audit, if somebody is browsing, somebody reports, right? Somebody who doesn't like your firm goes and reports, they can take strict action, right? They can go and search and find out that this is what you're doing. You're misrepresenting yourself on a website or you're advertising things that you're not allowed to do.
Based upon the website, files are coming. The website wrong information are given. So the clients are suffering.
There is no chance to give wrong information because you should follow the guidelines. And the guidelines are very clear. You can put photograph of this size, your name, everything is very clearly mentioned. So if you follow that, you will not flout any rules in terms of website. So you had a question.
More than actually an individual promotion. So like if it is a firm, so how can we promote that? If I feel like, can I have a Facebook page for me? No. What actually I'm not doing anything on it. I'm just saying like my articles or my office staff, someone has a working. So everyone has a Facebook account.
Right.
I'm just sharing from my firm that happy birthday to whatever. So it's not an advertisement.
It should not be an issue. See, you cannot advertise through Facebook. You can have a profile like LinkedIn. LinkedIn, you can have a profile, and you can also promote your LinkedIn company page, which you should not be doing. Meaning, I think there is ambiguity because I see people advertising on AdWords. If they are allowed on AdWords, then why not Facebook? Why not LinkedIn is the question. But first, you should find out whether they are allowed to do it.
LinkedIn front page is allowed, Facebook front page is allowed, not on marketing thing. For example, birthday celebration or something else. That is what
Yeah.
usually is Facebook. What we are just going to share is like whatever celebration we are doing. So like there is not like 1,000 members going to like my page, my phone page. So only my phone members are going to do that, and I'm just sharing in their page. So it's as simple as even there's an extension of date. You can't communicate to everyone. You can just make a post on the phone only. So that is why from my firm, I'm just tagging that my officers, office colleagues
think this would flout it.
It's on
It would.
And same like LinkedIn also.
Same thing. You can use LinkedIn company page also similarly. Posting birthday, writing an article and talking about it. Or if there's enough
career also become career.
career, people who are looking for articleship, you can ask for that, because currently that is what is allowed for you to advertise. Any other questions?
So can you touch little more on Quora, sir? I mean, they can take a lot more advantage on Quora.
See,
Because most of the questions, irrespective of the content, example, GST extension, anything, there's a question there and you can just write the answer. It's just creating an awareness that you know the content. Most of the GST is a new subject. Most of the people are not aware, client is not aware whether you also do GST. So there's a gap which can be filled up.
so basically you can use Quora to establish yourself as a thought leader. So you can go onto Quora and look for questions related to GST and tax, accounting and all of that, and go and answer those questions, right? Better the content and better the way it is formatted and all that, you will get what is called as an upvote. Like likes on Facebook, you get what is called as an upvote. Multiple people upvote you, out of 10 answers, you will be in the top, right? So it's an investment, but I would say it's a great investment. After all the things that I mentioned to you, Quora is definitely something that you should do. Answer 2 or 3 in a day, or answer maybe 10 in a week, just in one slot of 1 or 2 hours. You'll be able to easily answer all those questions, right? Anybody who comes across as helpful, there's a very good chance people get in touch with them for actual professional paid help. So I would definitely recommend that.
So how in LinkedIn we are able to view that particular person has viewed my profile? Can in Google keywords, as you dropped out the data that this many people have searched for chartered accountant in Chennai, can we check that who were the 500 people?
Right. So basically he's asking, 500 people have searched for chartered accountant in Nungambakam. Can I know who these 500 people are, their names, number and email ID? So all this data is anonymized. So Google does not give you access. Google, Facebook, nobody gives you access to the individual data, right? One person's data you cannot get. So what you can do is you can run an ad which you cannot run, right? And ask them for their name, email and phone number. Otherwise there's no option.
So is there any cybercrime related to this video?
Cybercrime, not really, sir. Nobody cares about, we are not a political party or a government organization or a defense establishment for somebody to attack us. But there are a lot of people who are just, people who want to practice hacking. They might just come and hack your website. But there are a lot of ways to just protect it. It's not so complicated to protect your website. Any other questions? Thank you so much for it. Yeah.
In YouTube, if you put other than professional,
Sorry, in which place?
in YouTube,
YouTube.
if you use any other than professional title,
Okay.
so we are getting some income on that. Whether it is violating the principles of the
You mean like run?
other than professional,
Okay.
common topic, something else.
So, for example, I would recommend, so as per the rules and regulations, you cannot pursue any other career, right? Can you be a baker?
It's a part-time or once in a while. If it is there, any
So, can you be a baker? Can you bake cakes and sell?
no.
Oh, so that's your answer. So, if you can't do it offline, you can't do it online. Simple.
The social related matter, so many things are coming nowadays.
Correct.
So any issues, once in 6 months or once in a while.
Okay.
So if any serious is posting some videos on the YouTube,
Okay.
where they are getting some like pages or it is crossing the limit and getting some income out of that. Whether it is violating the
I would definitely check, the rules and regulation. I wouldn't want to advise on this in terms of this particular thing, because I don't know what 6 months means, what once in a while means, right? So there's no
It's
clarity.
very rare, very rare.
Sure. So instead of this, I would rather do these legitimate things to grow your own practice. That's what I would recommend.
And YouTube is a US-based company or?
All are US-based companies, sir, almost all of them, except TikTok, few other companies that are not LinkedIn, Facebook, Google, Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, all of them are US based companies. TikTok I think is Chinese, if I remember. Chinese. WeChat is Chinese.
What is the reason for so many companies US based?
I think historically, right, sir, I mean, that place has attracted the best of the talent from the world. And when the best of the talent is getting together in one place, such innovations are bound to happen. Interesting thing that you said, if you compare the best of the institutions in the US, they are probably in the Northeast, the Boston area, and in California, the Stanford area. But if you look at the amount of innovation that happens in Stanford is huge compared to what happens in, let's say, Boston, right? So it's the Silicon Valley. It has a lot of ingredients for it. For example, the institutions, the companies that support it, and the investor community. It's like the perfect triage of things that come together to help build companies. Having said that, there have been companies outside of Silicon Valley that have done extremely well. So for example, Facebook started in Harvard, Amazon started in Seattle. So multiple different companies from different parts of the US also. But for some reason, US has been a hotbed for innovation.
Each state is supporting or is state. So
I don't think it's so much to do with the government. The best thing the government does there, it keeps out of business, right? I think that's the best thing that the American government does. It just provides, what the entrepreneurs require. But like I told you, the triage, investor community, the institutions, and the companies. These three have come together really nicely in California, in Silicon Valley. And I feel that's the reason why so much innovation, and that's why so many companies come out of it.
sir, in a firm, if we go into all these things, okay, YouTube, whatever, it is consuming our time. We have to keep a separate people to do all this.
So there are two ways you can do it, sir, right? For some of the technical things, you can always use a company to do it, right? You can pay a company to do these activities for you. That's number one. Number two is, let's say we talked about Quora, right? Quora can be done by, let's say, somebody who's interning for you, right? It might not require more than an hour. That person can come with the...
The question is raised by the same person and it will also raised by the same person.
Not necessarily.
Actually, okay, as a proxy, somebody is doing it in order to just make a market.
Correct. I think you've gone to a black hat seminar, right? We talked about search engine optimization also. Now you're, yes.
You know very well. You know your company is also having other people how they are all doing it, how to do it.
Absolutely. So for example, you can. So for example, it could be a question related to check.
Even our PM is having a lot of people to see one, 50 people to see only people.
Exactly.
Reply. And what are the reply they have to give? They have a restriction.
They are not called people, sir. They are called trolls. Right? So yeah, the point is, yes, you can actually have somebody asking questions as a proxy, and you can go and answer. Yeah, people do that. But again, that's not how the Quora system works.
In Quora also illogical questions and unwanted questions also coming in.
Answer only the relevant ones, sir.
Dirty thing. I mean, even in our professional thing also, they are all saying how to avoid tax and other things. That type of words.
I'm sure. Absolutely.
Not
Right?
allowed.
So you should just go and answer the relevant questions that can actually establish you as an authority. You can even go there and say, don't do these things.
By this, the younger generation or our children are spending more time on these things.
Absolutely, sir.
It is also
But that doesn't mean younger generation are bad and the older generation are good.
after that, they are not learning also. I mean, they are meaning, okay, knowledge is also big. That's
Correct.
what I can say.
So I think that debate is kind of open. If you look at the amount of consumption of, people are spending almost 8 hours online. So I don't know whether it is for good or bad, so on and so forth, but the jury is out on that, whether they are actually...
I might agree and disagree also. I used to spend close to I spend close to 4 to 6 hours on Facebook. Okay. For people who know me, I spend 4 to 6 hours on Facebook. I have handled 2 election campaigns. Okay, and then the things are different. So, do you call me a chartered accountant or a social media analytics or something else? In a firm.
Or if he's abusing a lot, a troll.
Okay. And second thing is, example, one of my cousins spends close to 8 hours on Quora. He has been invited in China.
What's his profession for their
He is
benefit?
just first year graduate. First year, he is just pursuing his graduation.
Oh,
Okay, and he has close to 1.8 million followers on Quora.
wow.
1.8 million followers, and he's been called in TEDx as a speaker.
Fantastic.
And he's been sponsored to China. And he's one of the first person to complete his 12th. In his entire family, he's first person to complete it. So, parents allowed him to spend time on social media. He has taken on
There
a
are
right way.
so many great
Yeah, he's
stories.
taken on right way.
What is he an authority on? What is he an authority on?
On anything on programming
Programs, right?
and blockchain.
Just yesterday, so there are about 10 of us from around the country leading digital marketers. We do a masterminding session every Sunday for an hour. Yesterday, one of my friends, he was telling, he runs a program in Pune where he charges about 70,000 rupees for that program, which is entirely online. And one 14-year-old from Delhi somewhere, he applied to pay and join that program. So when he interviewed him, he found out that this boy makes websites, makes and sells websites for 20,000-30,000 rupees, and he's done extremely well. He's made a lot of money just building websites for companies. And yeah, my friend decided to give it a 100% scholarship for this boy because he said, no, it's pretty amazing what he's doing. So there are a lot of people who are doing that. I mean, look at Instagram and influencers. If you go into, I don't know if any of the ladies have done that, if you go and look for makeup tips, right, or any of those kind of things, the number of small celebrities, young women, not even from the urban areas, doing in Hindi, doing it in Tamil, right? How do you apply foundation? How do you apply makeup? And they're making money, right? There are a lot of celebrities. I think one of the biggest celebrity, earners on YouTube is a young boy who started when he was like 5-6 years old. What he does is he opens new toys that are launched in the market, right? And he makes millions of dollars doing that. So he does unwrap. He unwraps the thing. So a lot of people who are using this very, very well, and so there is definitely hope, sir.
There's some possibility and there's some misuse.
Of course. Just like any medium.
I had an opportunity to be a panelist on interviewing Deloitte chairman, Mr. Ramesh K. Ramesh. Okay. So one of the questions we have put to him is, how do we market, or how do we, I as a Deepak, how do I tell the market that I know a particular subject? Example, GST. Most of the clients will align to the existing auditors. Existing auditor may or may not continue with GST audit. But how as an external person, new to the practice, example, many people are new in the market. So how do you want to showcase the entire world that you are a speaker or you are a subject matter expert in a GST or anything, it doesn't need GST, including international taxing. How do you convey to the world? So Quora, LinkedIn, these are the platforms where you can answer to the questions, or you can shoot up some questions, or you can you can edit a video and post it over. Just show your talent. Maybe you've been called over here for an opportunity to speak, and slowly you can build a practice.
That boy, just imagine how, unrewarding. It would have not been rewarding at all for the first 1 year, 2 years, or whatever it is. How old is he now? 17, 18, 18,
18,
right? So he must have started when he was like 14, 15 or whatever it is, right? So my point to you is you'll have to have the patience to do that. So that's one of the reasons why I said, you might want to do that last. Again, it depends upon your interest, right? But do the other things. Like I said, one of the first things you should do is put up a website, write a blog. Those are all easy things to do. Google My Business, creating a LinkedIn profile. As I see from here, you've not done those things. I would recommend doing those things. His name is Abhishek Jain. You should look him up. 18 years old, programmer, blogger, dropout. He's a dropout, which is fantastic. And yeah, absolutely, sir. If you look at the top 10 companies in the world, most of them are founded by dropouts. He 2.9 million views on, so he's answered multiple times. So he's got 2.9 million views, like video views, he's got 2.9 million answer views. He's from Agarwal Vidyalaya in Chennai. Fantastic. Great. Thank you so much for your time.
Before I start, I thank you, Faheem sir. We happened to meet in one of my clients' discussion. Why did I choose him? First thing is, he doesn't speak about black hat, he only speaks about white hat. Okay? And most of his projects, he was only approaching on right way, not going by his shortcut way. The reason is, example, I can spend a few thousands and get it on top. But I need to sustain this, whenever I'm on top, I need to sustain for a longer duration, which is costly affair. So when he's trying to build a organic traffic to the website or social media or something else, the traffic is there for longer duration time. And most of his advices are all, I had a very limited interaction of 2 hours, and most of his suggestions are only on how to grow organically. Though the deal did not crystallize, but surely the client might relook it. I thank SIC for giving this opportunity to invite you over here.
Thank you. Thank you.
I hope in days to come you can build your own profile on LinkedIn. And also, in example, for younger generation, it's very difficult to find a client. Okay, unless I don't showcase my talent outside, it is very difficult to get a client. Example. I'm not supposed to, I just take it offline. I did a big data course, okay, but I'm not able to communicate that I have done my big data course and I can't get a client, okay. Somewhere in the platform in SIRC, I had showcased the talent of doing a training, okay. The same training I tried to upload on LinkedIn and elsewhere. In Chennai, one of the listed company which has 18,000 crores has approached me. This outreach is only possible via online medium. So unless I don't showcase anything on the medium over here, it's very difficult for some person in online, example, who handles billions of records, it is very difficult for them to approach a chartered accountant, because chartered accountants are more on advisory type and other things. Chartered accountant with big data, who can handle big data, limited number of people. I recently post the engagement, I found few Mumbai-based firms have invested team in Chennai. Okay, they have a 30-member team in Chennai who will support for their activity in Mumbai. So this all, information is possible to flow only when they are available online. So I request you to create active, interactive engagement in online. One through your website using your blogs. Second is on Quora. Third is on LinkedIn. Thank you. I call upon Idris to give a small memento as a token of appreciation to you.
Get your phone number. Sure, sir. Let me give you. I'll give you my business card.
He'll share his business card and his phone number is. I just call. Thank you.